the urge is to write a very angry post on social media about it, right?
Yeah.
And the answer is to stop doing that, and do something.
Mhm.
Uh, and 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 at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself if you have created more housing or not, and it's either yes or no,
Mhm.
right? And there's
Mhm.
no excuses. There should be no excuse for
Right.
this. And so I think that's the way I think we need to look at it. It's just I would take the gloves off and say, look,
Mhm.
we can complain about that all we want, but if we're going to be okay with requiring 17 public meetings
Mhm.
to allow people to appeal putting affordable housing in their neighborhood,
Right.
when it's demonstrated that it's not going to be it's shown economic harm, then we asked for it. Then we should stop complaining and just own that,
Right.
or we should do something about it.
Or the inverse, every vote no or every thumbs down on the construction of affordable housing is what I say also accepting more homelessness in the community too. So, you've got this tension here as well, or staff shortages of nurses and EMTs and teachers because they can't afford to live there. So, society at some point has to make these links together to understand the impacts of these decisions when it comes to affordable housing
Yeah.
and construction of it. Yeah.
I think it's incumbent on us as leaders in the industry too to also make sure that we're making that case and that we're helping to put the information out there. I mean, obviously, everyone has an obligation and responsibility to consume that information and
Yeah.
get informed. But I think, and that's one of the things that we try to do is say, look, there is a consequence here, and it's a good one. And this is what you want. And this, like, in our community I live in, we had a situation where we had a lot of chronically homeless folks, and, in the wintertime when it was super cold, the police were just, you know, writing them up on citations for one thing or another just to make sure that they could spend a night in jail so they wouldn't freeze to death.
Mm.
And we went to the city and county to convince them to build a chronically homeless place, right? And we were able to just, we didn't talk about why this was a good thing to do. We didn't talk about why it's our moral obligation to do so. What we said is, look, it's going to cost you about $70,000 a year in jail costs to do what you're doing today. If we do it this way, it'll cost you about 40,000 a year.
Hmm.
And it passed, right?
Yeah.
So I think sometimes it's just you know,
Right.
putting the emotions aside and saying, look, this is why it makes sense. And then you decide. Uh, Fortunately, that one worked.